All right, so let's keep up with what we're doing today. We are on lesson 11. This is Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday, and we did lessons 8 and 9. This morning, I'm doing 10 and 11. Tomorrow, I'm going to do 12 and 13 so that we can finish Module 5 on Friday. It's more clock stuff. The only difference with this clock today is that you will notice that the long hand is now pointed at the 6. So when we talk about the long hand being pointed at the 6, it means it's 30. So instead of being 2 o'clock, it is 2:30. Instead of it being 5 o'clock, it's 5:30. When the long hand is pointed at the 6, we look at just past the number. So this one would be 12:30. Another way that, a kind of an old-fashioned way that people used to talk about it would be that it was half past. Because see, if I drew a line through the clock, it would be, the long hand has moved all the way around to half past. So sometimes they'll say, oh, it's 2:30. And that just is another way of saying 2:30. I'm going to look at my clock. It's kind of hard for me to show you. And look, it's moving because I had it all set up for 11:30, but it moved. Hold on. All right. It's kind of 30. Pretend like that is right on the 6. So the shorthand was on the 11. It moved just a little bit. As it moved around, the long hand moved all the way over to the 6. And so now it says 11:30. My clock has the numbers on it, and I don't think the little yellow and blue clocks you guys have these, but each of these little black lines stands for 1. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's why it has a 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then there's 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's why when you say that the long hand is on the 6, that means it's something 30. In this case, it's 11:30. If my shorthand was pointing at the 12, it would be 12:30. But the 30 minutes is what it means, or half past, because we went halfway around the clock. So we're going to put the clock aside because it's really not helpful right now. And we're going to do some matching. We're going to match the clocks. There's 3 on this side, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because there's more than one way to say it. So we're going to have to keep matching things. So try and write as neatly as you can. First, we're going to see what time this clock says. The shorthand is just a little right by the 2, and the long hand is all the way around by the 6. So that means it can be 2:30 or 2:30. So let's look over here. The first one says 5:30. That doesn't work. 12:30. Nope. 2:30. So let's draw a line from our 2:30 to how it's written, 2:30. 5:30, 12 o'clock, or 2:30. Was that the time it was? Good. So we're going to draw another line. The next one says the shorthand is a little bit past the 5, so we know it's going to be 5, and the long hand has come all the way around. So it's pointing at the 6, and so that is 5:30, because remember it's 30 minutes. All these little lines equal 30, so 5:30 or 5:30. Let's see what it says on our things. The first one says 5:05. Is that what we just said it was? Perfect. 5:05. 12:30. No, we are not looking for 12:30. We know it's not 2:30. This one says 5:30. Good. Let's make a line. The next one says it's right by the 12, and the long hand is on the 6, so it's going to be 12:30 or 12:30. Okay, let's read them. 5 o'clock, 12:30. Oh, we need to draw a line there. 2:30, 5:30, 12 o'clock. Good job. It is 12 o'clock. Okay. Now they're going to have us pay attention carefully because they want us to either draw the long hand to be the minute hand or the long hand to be at the o'clock or at the 30. So we need to think about that. Remember, if it's pointing to the 12, that means it's o'clock. If it's pointing to the 30, that means it's 30. I mean, if it's pointing to the 6, I'm sorry, guys. Draw the minute hand so the clock shows the time written above. This one says 7 o'clock. Where will our long hand point to? The 12 or the 6? Good, it needs to point to the 12. 8 o'clock. Is it going to point to the 12 or the 6? Good, o'clocks always point to the 12. 7:30. Will our long hand or our minute hand point to the 12 o'clock or the 6? Good, it needs to point to the 6 because it's 30 minutes around the clock. Now we have 1:30. Is our long hand, our minute hand going to point to the 12 or to the 6? We need 30 minutes, half past, so it needs to point to the 6. 2:30. We're trying to point to the 30 minutes past, so it will point to the 6. Good job. 2 o'clock. Will our long hand point to the 12 or the 6? The minute hand points to the 12. Good job. Okay, let's turn the page over. Ooh, now we have to write the times. So, when we're writing time, we always have to remember we have 2 dots. And if it says 30, we're going to write the number 30. So the first one is done for us. It says 3:30. And they have a shorthand at the 3 and the minute hand or the long hand at the 6. 5:30, and they wrote 5:30. The next one has 11:30. So we write the number 11 ... 30. 11:30. The next one says 12:30. Now we have to write out the words just like they did in the B one. So we're going to write 12, TWELVE, and write the word 30, THIRTY. Ooh, kind of didn't fit good, huh? Now we're getting tricky. It's not 30 this time. What is it when the long hand or the minute hand is pointing at the 12? Good, it is 2 o'clock. And remember, o'clock, you write 2 zeros. Okay. Now our long hand is pointing at the 6. The minute hand is pointing at 6. And so that means it's going to be 30, right? So it is 8:30, which looks like 8 ... 30. And it's 8:30. Right away, I see my long hand is pointed at the 6. So what is that going to be? It's going to be a 30. Good job. Need my dots. And where is my hour hand? It's just a little bit past the 10, so that means it is 10:30. Both my hands are pointed almost straight down. So what do you think that means? It's going to be a 30, huh? And what's the hour hand? 6 ... 30. Good job. Okay, our minute hand is not pointed at the 6 this time. It's pointed at the 12. So what does that mean? O'clock. Very good. So our hour hand is pointed at the 7. Our minute hand is pointed at 12, so that means o'clock. And we write o'clock 00. 7 dot dot 00. This one says 7:30, so that means we have to write out the word 7:30. So we're going to write 7, SEVEN, 30, THIRTY. And we have 7:30, or we can look at the digital clock and it says 7:30. Good, let's do K. K has a clock that the long hand or the minute hand is pointed at the 6, and we know that's going to mean 30. And the hour hand is just a little bit past the 4, so that means 4:30. Good job. And the last one, the digital clock reads 10:30, so we're going to write 10, TEN, and 30, THIRTY. Number 4 says, circle the clock that shows 12 o'clock. All right, so let's think about this. It looks like this one might be 12. Oh, first, 12 means 12:30, right? So we're looking for a clock that says 12:30. Let's look at clock A. Clock A has the hour hand pointing just past the 11. So it's not to the 12 yet. That can't be the right clock. That one says 11:30. This one has the hour hand pointing past the 1, so that would be 1:30. That's not right. And the last one has the hour hand pointing right past the 12, so we know it's got to be 12, and it's pointing at the 6, so that's 30 or half past. So this says 12:30 or half past 12 o'clock. So we can circle that one. That's a really quick look at our next part of our lesson. 2 o'clock, so we're looking at something that says 2:30. Does that say 2:30? It almost looks like it does, but it's not right. How about that one? The minute hand is pointing to the 6, so we know that's right, and it's just past the 2. Good job. 2 o'clock. And that one says 2 o'clock. The next one says 10 o'clock. So we're looking for something that says 10:30. Let's look at the first clock. Where's the shorthand pointing? Right where it's supposed to be. That should be 10. And the minute hand is pointing at the 6, so that means it's 10:30 or 10 o'clock. So we'll just circle that one and go on. This one says 6 o'clock. We're looking for a clock that has the minute hand pointing at the 12 and the hour hand pointing at the 6. When you see that one, circle it. Good. That minute hand is pointing at the 12. 8 o'clock. The other way we say 8 o'clock is 8:30. The first one we know can't be right because the minute hand is pointing at the 12. We need the minute hand to point at the 6. These last two ones have the minute hand pointing at the 6, so we know it could be either one of these. But our hour hand, which one is right if we're trying to get 8 o'clock? Good. B is correct. You can finish the last page on your own. It's not hard. Write the time shown on the clock to tell about Lee's day. Lee wakes up at, good, I'll just do a little bit with you. 6:30. He takes the bus to school at, we know it's going to be 30. What time is that? 7. So we're going to write 7:30. He has math at, the minute hand's at the 6, so we know it's going to be 30. And where's the 10? Where's the hour hand? 10, very good. So it's 10:30. He has math at 10:30, 10:30. He eats lunch at, it's still going to be a 30. And what is that pointed at? Good, 12:30. He has basketball practice at, still going to be 30. What time is the hour hand pointing at? Good. 3:30. He does his homework at, still, the minute hand still pointing at the 6, so it's still 30. And then the hour hand is just past that number, so it is 4:30. He does his homework at 4:30. The next one says he eats dinner at, the minute hand is still pointing at the 6, so we know it's going to be 30. And the hour hand is just past that number, so it is 5:30. Good job. Ooh, he goes to bed early. He goes to bed at, where's the minute hand again? At the 6, so we know it's going to be 30. And the hour hand is just past the 7, so it is 7:30. Excellent job, guys. We did it all. Okay, I'll post it. Bye-bye.